I got liquid bread on my fingers. Never felt so sweet. I got liquid bread on my fingers. Never felt so sweet. Yeah. Ooh. Hello, YouTube. I sincerely hope the audio works. If not, why am I even saying I hope? Anyway, how y'all doing? It's a Saturday night. I've hopefully figured out my audio issues because I'm a horrible at technology. And I'm just going to be streaming. There's a lot that happened this week, besides me failing to stream several times. Yeah. And I've got to the point where I'm thinking, if people like Paul's Ego can stream for hours and have hundreds of people watching him ramble on slowly for hours, certainly I can get a few people to watch at some point, right? Maybe I'm not as charismatic as Paul. I'm not as smart as Paul. But it's got to be something I can do, right? And have, few people with various states of sobriety trickle in and watch me be an idiot and talk about stuff. Right. So a lot has happened this week. Politics, the debates, and all this stuff. And the debates weren't as bad as I thought they would be. They weren't groundbreaking or crazy groundbreaking, but they weren't as bad as I thought they would be. I thought in the first debate, if you watch Secular Talk, Kyle Kalinske claims that Bernie won. I think Elizabeth Warren won, but that's just me. It was very close, right? They both did good. I feel Elizabeth Warren challenged others more, like John Delaney. I feel like she just fought a little more. Bernie, I feel like, was more of just a straightforward agenda when Elizabeth Warren was trying to school everybody. This is a serious issue. Let's not joking around. Let's stop the bullshit and let's focus on the people. And one of her quotes that she said that I really liked was, and this is a abridged whatever version of her quote. It's not exactly what she said, but she said something along the lines of, I can't understand why people would want to run for president when all they keep saying is, we can't do this, we shouldn't do that. And that was basically, good, that's working. Basically, response to John Delaney saying Medicare for all is political suicide. And let me fucking tell you something. Medicare for all is not political suicide, okay? I don't understand his concept of us having to appeal to the lowest common denominator. When did that become a thing? We say to ourselves, oh, well, Trump supporters don't like Medicare for all. They think, oh, it's socialism and socialism is evil. Woo! It's the boogeyman. It's un-American. We're not Venezuela. We're America. We can't have that communist bullshit. That's what Trump keeps pandering. And stupid people like Trump supporters, many of them believe it. Are we supposed to sink to their level and say, no, we're not going to do the right thing. We're not going to do what will actually help our country because a few dumb people don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want their vote. But why does it even matter at that point? What's the point of even, like she said, what's the point of even trying to be president if you don't want to get anything done? What's the point of even attempting? Great, you get the ego. I was president. Great, but you didn't do shit because they might not like it. Here's and Pete Buttigieg, who he's okay. He's a little more centrist, moderate than I'd like, but he's all right. Pete said it, a really good quote. Whether you're a progressive on the left or a centrist, the Republicans are going to call you a crazy socialist. So you might as well do the right thing. You might as well do the best you can because they're going to shit on you no matter what you do. So that's why I don't really like John Delaney's strategy or Joe Biden's strategy, because it's basically, we're going to try to please Republicans. Joe Biden yells, Trump is a disaster. And 4 or 8 or 16 or whatever how many years Joe Biden thinks Trump is still going to be president, and they're disastrous and we need to stop him. But Joe, you're the closest to a Republican. Out of all the people running, Joe Biden is the closest to Trump. Yet he thinks Trump is horrible. If Trump was really horrible, you would be promoting good ideas like Medicare for all, affordable college, all these other criminal justice, drug legalization nonsense, infrastructure, getting us out of wars. You'd be fighting. But instead, you're like a moderate version of Trump. You'll say some nice things, but it's mostly bullshit. Right? And the point is, to people like me, I voted for Gary Johnson in 2016, okay? I said, I don't like Hillary. I don't like Trump. I don't believe in the lesser of two evils. So I just voted for Gary Johnson. I'm not going to vote for someone just because I think they're going to win or I hate the other person more. I don't care. I'm not voting for someone I don't really like. I didn't like everything about Gary Johnson, but, he was from legal marijuana and, he was an independent and he would have probably done some decent things, some crazy things. But, I felt that, what was her name? What was the woman? Jill Stein. She got arrested. I didn't think she had as much of a chance. I felt like boosting Gary Johnson as a third party just to get him maybe more percentage points. Although I wouldn't personally get a single candidate more percentage points just myself. Unless, of course, like 2 people voted. But anyway. Yeah. Just the whole concept of, we're supposed to vote for Joe because he's the only one who can beat Trump. It's basically implying I don't have to do anything as a candidate. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to be good. That's the whole problem I have with it. It's a simple premise of I am a complete piece of dog shit who will do nothing to change your lives, nothing to benefit this country. I'm full of shit. But at least I'm not Donald Trump. Yeah, at least I'm not fucking Donald Trump. Great. Everyone else on the stage is also not Donald Trump. But you know what they have? Policies. Things that people actually want to see get done. Their campaigns are more than nothing will fundamentally change. Listen, let me tell you, nothing will fundamentally change. They have a lot more to say than that, Joe. And of course, he's keeping up with the polls. Then again, I don't know how the polls are conducted, and they could be off. I think most young people don't like Joe Biden. I think older people, many of them might. I don't know. I think Joe's hoping that Republicans, and some Republicans do think Joe is tolerable. When you have Trump supporters saying Joe Biden is a decent-ish candidate, that means there's a problem. That means he's usually a piece of shit because he's really offering nothing, right? Just like Trump is really offering not much. So yeah, I felt Elizabeth Warren won the first debate. Then on below, you had Bernie, very close. Then you had Marianne Williamson. She did pretty good. Yeah. Was Pete Buttigieg? Was he in the first or second night? I'm gonna look that up. Pete Buttigieg, judging the booties. Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. With a confusing name. Pete Buttigieg fails. Well, oh well. Smudging on forehead. Was that the first night of the debate? Maybe it was. Anyway, Pete Buttigieg did okay. Maybe he was like 4th or something. I don't know. He did all right, but not groundbreaking. If Pete Buttigieg came out as a pro, like a Bernie kind of progressive, he would do pretty well, but he's not, right? And that's the biggest problem with Bernie, is that Bernie is old, and as much as it's good to be a grumpy old man and challenge people and fight for yourself, if he was younger, he would have been a lot more popular, probably. He would have been taken more seriously, and it just would have worked better. But, oh well, Bernie's still pretty good, even though he's 76, 77. Second night of the debates was interesting. Joe Biden held his ground a bit, but he was still shit on a lot. Joe really He didn't do that well. He had a lot of attacks against him, and there were some points when he fought back with Christian Gillibrand saying, "Well, Christian, he pulled a Trump. Joe Biden pulls these Trump moves. He says, I got dirt, and I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything, but believe me, I got dirt, and if I have to get dirty, I will." That's like a Trump thing, pulling out some stuff out of his bag, saying, "I don't want to say this, but you looked ugly and gross," and blah blah blah. That's kind of like the shit Trump says. So I don't know. Anyway. What did Joe say? Christian Gillibrand. Joe Biden was like, when I had I made a speech or something at the state capitol, or what was it, the college, somewhere where Christian Gillibrand was. Joe Biden made a speech or went there for whatever reason. And Christian Gillibrand praised him, saying he was breathtaking, or it was a wonderful speech, or something like that. Which kind of was funny, because it was really a good attack. Like, Christian Gillibrand was like, "Oh shit, I praised him." She's like, "Listen, Joe, I really, really respect you. But yeah, you can't say you respect him deeply if you're running against him." Like, I don't know. Anyway, I kind of failed for her. She's done. So Joe did okay, but still not great. I don't think this will drop him in the polls that much. Less people watch this debate, but I don't think it'll help him that much either. The winner was Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang really kicked it. The first debate, Andrew Yang was nervous. He was rushing. He was going so fast. It was like, I don't care what you have to say, Yang, because you're going so fast. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's, spinning in my head. So he was slow. He got to the point. He accurately explained how universal basic income would help women, help the economy, help businesses. He explained from a business perspective how Medicare for All would help businesses because they no longer have to pay their employees insurance, which is a ton of money. They can spend more of that money increasing people's wages and whatnot. So he made some really good points. He tried in the first debate to get out how his universal basic income would be beneficial for everyone and how it would help women and how it would help different races, but he didn't do it that well. On this debate, he did. He mentioned how it would help people of color, all different kinds of people would benefit from a universal basic income. And it applies to anything. You could say the black community. You can say Hispanics. You can say women, immigrants. You can say anyone, middle class. Getting $1,000 a month help you start a business. Help you pay rent so you can focus on a career, focus on education, focus on, people, I like to go back to school, but I can't afford to. I don't have the time. I'm working full time, blah, blah, blah. This would help a lot of people, $1,000 a month. It really boosts the economy. Why I keep doing this, I don't know. I'm just going to do this all stream. I'm just going to fucking wave my hands like a lunatic all stream until I get fucking tired, because that's all I feel like. I'm like a wizard. I'm like summoning a spell. That's what I fucking am right now. And if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. So you had Andrew Yang, and then who? I don't know. Everyone else kind of sucked. Kamala Harris felt like she was either sick or something. Her voice was not as strong. She just didn't look as good. Something was wrong with her. Maybe she was sick, had a cold. I don't know. But she wasn't that strong in the beginning. She had some moments, but it wasn't as good. She challenged Joe Biden's record, and Joe Biden challenged her. Medicare for All is her home bill was $3 trillion or whatever. Yeah. That's the problem when you try to distinguish yourself from Medicare for All, is that Medicare for All is a lot more popular, and it's probably a lot better bill. You just pulling something out of your ass the last minute before the debate. I have my own healthcare system. No. Just stick with Medicare for All. Okay, if you just stuck with Medicare for All, it'd be a lot better. Sticking with Medicare for All is not helping Bernie necessarily, because it's a generic idea now. It's not just Bernie. It's a lot of candidates support it. So if Kamala Harris came out and she said, I support Medicare for All, boom, she would get a big boost. But she has her own bizarre plan that's probably not as good. It's confusing. It was pulled out the last minute, whatever. So Second debate was okay, a bit more exciting or a bit more arguing than the first debate. Everyone was dogpiling on Joe Biden. And Joe Biden keeps saying, I want to move past all this. I want to move to the future. The past doesn't matter. But the past does matter because it influences how you will act in the future. If you were willing to be a piece of shit politician for 30, 40 years, what's stopping you from being a piece of shit, do-nothing politician in office? You know what I mean? You have an authenticity. You can't just say, well, back then I was ineffectual and voted for terrible shit. But now I'm totally changed. Now I'm going to just benefit the people. And now I'm going to be some progressive. You can't just say that. There's an authenticity issue there. There really is. There's another thing Joe Biden said. Where's the article? Is it here? Where is it? No, that's on the monkey thing. Monkeying around. Where is it? Here. Joe Biden. This is from Huffington Post. Joe Biden to millennials. Don't tell me how bad it is. Change it. Young people are facing a dark financial future, but the Democratic presidential candidate does not want to hear it. Vice President Joe Biden has a message for the millennial generation. Stop complaining. The 2020 Democratic presidential contender stood by the skepticism he expressed last year when asked about young adults' beliefs that they face outside hurdles to secure housing and pay off debt. And he said, I have no empathy. Give me a break, Biden said, which is a terrible thing to say. We have an obligation to, when questioned again, he said, we have an obligation to be engaged, Biden said. We all have an obligation to be engaged. Don't tell me how bad it is. Change it, he said. He says, my generation did it. Okay, your generation had a cultural change. Okay, your generation didn't have an economic change. Your generation had a cultural change with hippies and rock music, punk, metal, all that, sexual revolution. And that kind of came about not because people, it was social stuff. Who gives a crap about religion anymore? Let's have sex. Let's, move in with someone before you're married. Let's listen to rock music. You know what I mean? Like that was not economic changes, really. That was just social changes. Okay? Problems we have today, you can't just change it. Because half of this stuff, sure, there is one aspect where people could protest more. They could try to take a day off from work and protest. They could put their jobs on the line. They could put their careers on the line, the family. They could go protest on the Capitol building or their state capitol and fight. Right? There is a point when millennials are a little too pushy and a little too not ballsy enough to do it. Like they're too happy and content with their comfortable lifestyles to fight for what's right, put their lives at risk. But, they're fighting in France. They're fighting in Hong Kong. I don't think Americans have the balls, the guts anymore to do it. They're too busy binging Netflix and all that shit. And I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, whatever, right? So there's that aspect, true. But at the same time, a lot of this stuff can't just be fixed by people complaining on Twitter. It takes politicians to fight for you, right? When Trump says we're invading Iran, if he ever says that, we can't just protest and not have it happen. He can do whatever he wants. Unless we're literally like burning down the White House, storming it and threatening the president and saying, hey, there's 1 million of us surrounding the White House. You either stop the war or we're going to barge in, burn the place down. Your life is going to be at risk, buddy. Unless they had that sort of situation, I don't see protesting doing much. You really need political change. And a lot of that takes, politicians to do it. Politicians to step up and support Medicare for all. You don't. So that's the thing. These young people want things like Medicare for all. They want affordable college. Yet instead of helping them out and supporting these issues, you're being defensive. Why the fuck are you telling people to change it? At one hand, you're telling people, change the system. You got to do it. You have an obligation to fight for change. But on the other hand, you're not changing anything, and you want them to vote for you as president. Vote for me as president. I'm not going to change anything. But at the same time, if you want change, you gotta fight for it. So maybe we'll fight for it. We'll fight for it, but not electing you president. The best way to change the system is to not have Joe Biden in the office. That's the best way to have change, Joe. You're fucking yourself over. You know? You need to be sympathetic to the millennials and say, I want to help you. That's why I'm in office. My job is to make life easier for all Americans. So many people living paycheck to paycheck, so much wealth at the top, 49% of wealth going to the top 1%. So much of this shit, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do what, Abe Lincoln did, Theodore Roosevelt, FDR. I'm going to be like one of these great presidents, and I'm going to change a lot of shit. I'm going to make the country better for everyone. I'm going to give you a decent healthcare system, cheap or free college, maybe free community colleges, whatever. I'm going to do a lot to try to help this country. Maybe legalize drugs, stop the private prison profits and corruption. But he's not doing that. So you tell us to fucking change shit, and then you don't want to change anything yourself. Nope, I'm not doing that. So, yeah. Oh, crap. Drunken Peasants is going to be on at 10 minutes. Thanks, Animancer. Animancer from the Drunken Peasants podcast. He's not on the Drunken Peasants podcast, but he helps out with the Drunken Peasants podcast. Drunken Peasants podcast is going to be in 10 minutes. So, I don't know, nobody's watching this. I don't care. They might watch it later. I don't know. Where is the video? So yeah, like Joe, you're going to embrace the millennials and anyone, because this is not just millennials. This is middle-aged people without health care. This is middle-aged people still in college debt. Not being able to start a business. There's so many problems this country has. We're far from number one in anything besides having a bloated military and obesity. Besides those factors, we have nothing we're number one at. Why did I do a thumb? I should have done that. So, instead of telling us to change it, you as a politician should embrace it. Why should we vote for you if you're not going to change anything yourself? It's bullshit. Why should I vote for you? You're telling me, go out there and change things. And I'd like things to change by voting for a politician who'll actually change shit. And then you won't change it. You don't support any of this shit. You don't support Medicare for all. You call it too expensive. You come up with all these lies. Oh, they're going to take away your private insurance. It's bullshit. I'm sorry, Joe. It's bullshit. You're not telling people, let's have a grassroots movement like Bernie is. Bernie is empowering people. Bernie is telling people to go out and change the system. But he's empowering people while he's doing it. Because he's saying, let's work together to have a revolution. To change things for the better. Biden is basically being negative, saying, you kids and your stupid, crazy ideas, they're awful. You want it? Fine. But you go fight for it. Don't be complaining to me. I'm a common sense, right-leaning Democrat. Ooh, you want change? You got to go change it. Go do it. I'm not going to help you. I don't support it because I'm a piece of shit. But yeah, go change it. It's dumb as shit. Yeah. Let's see. Is there any other articles? Who the judge? Who the judge? Judger of the booty. Boo the judge. Boo the judge. How I love the booty judge. Yeah. Here's an article from The Guardian. First human monkey chimera raises concerns among scientists. Researchers reprogram human cells before injecting them into monkey embryo. So basically, this whole article, I'll read some of it, but basically what they are trying to do is scientists, for the purpose of creating cheaper organs for people, are basically trying to like injecting stem cells and human cells into animals. embryo, animal fetuses, and whatever. So basically, when a monkey grows up, it has some human DNA, some human cells in some of its organs. Therefore, it has, if you harvest an organ that might fit in a human, the body won't reject it. And that's a great idea. Really is. Hold on. McDonald's. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my butt is sore. Sore like peanuts after hard fucking. Okay. First human monkey chimera raises concerns among scientists. Efforts to create human-animal chimeras have rebooted an ethical debate, which is bullshit, after reports emerged that scientists have produced monkey embryos containing human cells. Chimeras are seen as a potential way to address the lack of organs for transplantation, as well as problems of organ rejection. Scientists believe organs genetically matched to a particular human recipient could one day be grown inside animals. The approach is based on taking cells from an adult human and reprogramming them to become stem cells, which can give rise to any type of cell in the body. They are then introduced into the embryo of another species. Other scientists have produced pig embryos and sheep embryos, which contain human cells, although the proportions are tiny. In the later case, sheep embryo, estimated that 1 in 10,000 cells was human. Pig and sheep-related human chimeras are attractive because the pig and sheep have organs the right size for transplantation into humans. They're the right size. The organs are similar. So if you create an organ with human DNA in it, you can stick it into a human, it fits, and the body might not reject it, or have a higher chance of not rejecting it. And it's a lot easier to raise a boatload of sheep and pigs, harvest their organs. We already harvest the meat. You just take the organ out and then you sell the meat, right? It's a lot easier to do that than having a waiting list for somebody who died who's donating their organ, right? Let's see. Central nervous system, blah, blah, blah. In theory, for diseases where primate models are not good enough, making human monkey chimeras could provide a better model for diseases, told the Guardian, adding that in cases of Alzheimer's, more than 150 trials have failed in 20 years, possibly because of the lack of a good disease model. So basically, they're going to say, we're going to create an animal with some human DNA, and we're going to then test this animal, like rats in the lab. We're going to give them a disease and see how it affects them. And maybe we'll figure out how Alzheimer's works. Because you can't just test random humans and say, we're going to expose you to a ton of radiation to see if it gives you Alzheimer's, right? We're going to expose you to a ton of chemicals found in food, dyes and whatever that's put in food, and see if it causes Alzheimer's. They can't do that to healthy humans, but they can do that to animals, and you can believe in the ethical whatever, but it's a lot better to most people to test drugs on a monkey or a rat than it is to do it on humans. We're just higher up in the social tier. We care about fellow humans more than we care about ourselves. No, we care about ourselves more than we care about monkeys or whatever. Most people. So, there's a yuck factor. Where is that? The yuck factor. So there are some animal welfare issues as well as a yuck factor. Ethical issues for making something more human. Clearly, if any animal born has aspects of human appearance, their faces, their hands, their skin that I suspect, while scientifically very interesting, people might get a little upset about that. Who gives a fuck? My response is, those people who cite ethical concerns, it's not scientific concerns. I'm not saying this wouldn't benefit society. It's very religious people going, oh, you're taking the role of God, and that's bad. You're playing God. It's Frankenstein. Ooh, you can't do that. That's what it's doing. It's taking the role of God, taking the role of Frankenstein. Ooh, they don't like it. And it's stupid reasons. It's like the anti-vax people. There's no science behind it. It's just bullshit religious. You're playing the role of God. It's benefiting people. I don't care if they create a monkey with human DNA and then they kill it. We kill millions of monkeys every year with deforestation, with war, all the environmental problems we cause, hunting, poaching. Like, you know, I don't care if we test rats with human DNA and grow organs and then test them for disease. It's good. It's beneficial. I would rather, you know, have animals, if they're going to be grown for meat anyway, if they had organs in there that you could transplant to people who needed them, that'd be great. You know how much that would lower the cost of organs? People wouldn't have to wait. I know people who have died because they were old and they couldn't get organs. You know, a liver, a kidney, whatever. If animals could grow those for us, it'd be great. Prices would go down significantly. You know, this ethical stuff is all bullshit. Because it's just, oh, religious. Ooh, we shouldn't be doing God. It's not going to hurt us, you know. You know, it's only going to push us forward into the future, helping humans live longer, have better lives. So, I don't get all the ethical concerns. You know, we've already cloned animals. Who cares? Let's just go nuts. Let's just put DNA, human DNA in animals, animal DNA in humans. Let's just do all the crazy experiments we want to do. As long as we're not killing actual people or we're torturing, you know, higher up animals like great apes or dolphins or elephants or really smart animals. The stupid animals, I don't have a problem testing a rat or a sheep because they're kind of dumb and there's millions of them. But, you know, higher up animals like humans, obviously, I said elephants, primates, whatever. I wouldn't feel comfortable if they were torturing an orangutan trying to give it Alzheimer's, testing to see what causes Alzheimer's. But for a rat or a sheep or maybe even a lower end monkey or lemur, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But whatever. Yeah. So, I am going to go. I am going to leave right now. Crap, DP is live. Nobody is watching this. So I'm going to go. Adios!